Gut, another thing to address ist das Archäologiebüro zum Federgrab. Hier findet man vor allem ein sehr Musik... Okay, ich hatte gerade fast... Anyway, dementsprechend ja, hier findet man nicht viel an sich. Hauptsächlich Pottery-Shards, ein paar alte Item-Frames. Ursprünglich waren hier noch Gemälde drin, aber ich habe welche gebraucht. Alles, was man zum Adventuren braucht. Hauptsächlich viel Book and Quill, denn ein gewisser jemand ist sehr viel am Notizen schreiben. Hust, hust. Aber ja, dementsprechend hat man hier auch eine Lectern, um zu lesen, was Kneck denn eigentlich so alles für Research betreibt. Und ich finde, das können wir doch mal machen. Personal Research. Necromancy. Number 1. Bone Jimmy. By Kneck. Bone pellets. 1. Stability. Smaller bones, such as from small body parts or creatures, create more stable creatures than fractions of larger ones. The scapula is particularly useful for sturdier, heavier creatures. Number 2. Types. Surprisingly, the exact bones swallowed do not seem to have an impact on the type and strength of a summoned undead. Judging by their patterns, as long as the baseline stability is met, magic seems to step in where physical bone structure falters. The following are the types I have discovered so far. 2.1. Sturdy. Well, and this is something I've already shown in the OC talk, so nothing new here. Personal Research Necromancy. Number 2. Nebling. By Kneck. Origin. A ruined temple of a former cultist base in northeast Ducia. Behavior. Calm, bored, childlike, was counting things to pass the time. Can touch their surroundings. Readily talks about their past, though is uncomfortable with details regarding their death. Non-aggressive. Non-ethereal. Excited to learn new things. Appearance. Sharp, light gray lines form their silhouette, best seen at evening and night. Looking from one perspective, no depth is seen, almost two-dimensional looking. No visible semi-transparentness to them. Started out human, likely the form they used to have when still alive. Upon becoming a familiar, they changed into an owling resembling myself when I was about 8. New discoveries. Should be able to fly with enough practice, seemingly unaffected by at least one type of magical darkness and illusions. Discovered in abandoned monk temple near Abendbucht. Likely connected to the Hohenlichtung, a mostly unknown plane, though seemingly does not know anything about it. An Aureate addressed them as such. A Beginner's Guide to Owlish Pronunciation by Kneck. Dedicated to my father Leomund, who might be tone deaf. Prefix. This book is meant as a guide to humans who wish to learn the very basics of pronunciation for Owlish words and names. While words and phrases are quickly outdated, the basics may hold true. 1. The 3 tones. Owlish is comprised of a 3-tone structure. The low, the medium, the high. Similar to letters in common, one should not mistake the tones with one another, or meaning is lost. For the sake of clarity, the following symbols will be used. O for low tones, O for medium tones, O for high tones. How these are portrayed in Owlish will be discussed in another article. 1.1. The low tone O. Pronouncing this tone should create a slight rumbling feeling in the throat or chest. The throat is open and relaxed. If you hold your fingers close to the mouth, you may feel a stream of warm air. The medium tone. Producing this tone may cause vibrations slightly higher than for the low tone, throat or head. Throat is stiffer. Stream of warm breath may be weaker than for the lower tone. The high tone. Producing this tone may cause vibrations in the head. Throat is tight, but open enough to let air through. Very little airflow out of mouth. Meaning. Since culture dictated a strong connection to the sky, words formed with these 3 tones often derive meaning from the basic ideas associated with each tone. Complex ideas are formed by sentences. The low tone. Deep tones are often associated with below us, often carrying the negative meaning also seen in common. Examples: ko, boko, ku. Using a medium or even high tone instead is usually interpreted as either sarcasm or an entirely different word, such as boko, 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 boko. The medium tone, usually relating to what is directly part or in front of you, or regarding culture and social structures. No inherent good or bad meaning associated. For example, bro, kro, kro, hok. Lowering may form words with bad, raising with good associations. If not intrusive to another word, heightening may be used in context of pride or hubris. Bro, kro. Great nest. The high tone, associated with the sky, so overwhelmingly positive meanings are prominent. Lowering usually results in other words entirely, and is done rarely. Sequences. Different tones after one another are often used to describe ideas relating to flight to properly form the final meaning. Ooh, great flight. Ooh. Start issues. Ooh, boo. Ooh. Quick, devastating ascent, i.e. being gifted. Regular words often use meanings like these subtly, to the point where they are disregarded in normal conversation. Names, however, carry the sentences openly in their meaning. Proper pronunciation of the tones thereby ensure the proper word is used and a name can be understood as such. Establishing a baseline. Where the low, medium, and high tones lie may not just vary from person to person, but also by mood and voice quality on daily/hourly basis. Therefore, communicating the current base is key. Owlings usually greet their conversation partners with hoo-hoo-hoo, immediately communicating their baseline in the process. One may practice this in common with the word hello, speaking H in low, E in medium, and O in high tone. Hello. Especially beginners may have widely inconsistent frequencies for their low, medium, and high tones, though establishing this rapport often helps immensely to understand one another. Having gone over all of this, I would like to ask you, dear reader, how would you pronounce this name? Tihi. Findings and Theories, Number 1, by Kneck. Day 1. The previously assigned expert left for good today. They instructed me about the basics of this place, though curiously left out what exactly these wandering corpses actually are. They were likely too scared of them to get too deep into it. No surprises here. I will begin my research immediately. Day 2. The undead are friendly? Talkative, for sure, especially regarding architecture. Getting them to talk about their past is difficult. They keep switching the topic. Day 5. Eccentric types. No one seems particularly bothered by their current state of decay, rather relishing in the fact they get to make more dangerous buildings. After all, even if they collapse on them, they'll just get right back up again. Day 7. They are building an office for me. I didn't ask for it, but Frank insisted I'd stop sleeping in my tent when I could have my own custom house. To be honest, I could use the space. Let's see what they'll come up with. Day 10. By the gods, it's everything I dreamed of. How did they manage to make metal look like bone? And the many entryways I can use to fly in there, it's perfect! Findings and Theories, 1.5. Do not show Leo, by Kneck. Day 21. I may have made a mistake. The residents' recent style of architecture focused on adding as many things to a building as they could, leading to many collapses. The other day, a large chunk of debris from the newest structure crashed through my roof. So I ran outside, screaming if they made fail detector on purpose. Suffice it to say, now they do. Day 25. Apparently, these people were once all artists, musicians, and architects of a smaller town. They were kicked out and left to fend for themselves. Some remember a great famine, followed by an even greater sickness, doing them in, one by one. How they came to life? They gave me no indicators. They are definitely atypically happy and conscious for undead. Perhaps the cave has something to do with it? My first trip down there with the troop is coming up soon anyway. Day 28. I misplaced my dedicated research book, so this will have to do. I'm giving up on trying to reanimate bones outside of the pellets. 30 seconds before collapsing are nothing compared to the almost 2 hours I managed to pull off my way. Who knew all those years of stomach ache would come in handy eventually? Findings and Theories 1.75. Do not show Leo by Kneck. Day 30. The first expedition was, well, it was technically a success. We collected a fair amount of ruststone, managing to dig deep into a nest. I'm just a little disappointed I didn't get to see anything new so far. We basically retracked the same ground I did during my instruction. Oh well, next month, next chance. Day 45. Bones rise and fall, like the buildings outside. I'm getting better at it seems. I'm at 4 hours before collapse. Still far away from the described spells I read about, but it's getting there. Though I noticed a particular pattern around certain bone formations. Some are more stable than others, especially ones closely resembling hands, even though the pile did not have any from that body region. And this is not the right notebook again. Findings and Theories 2 by Kneck. Day... fill in later. The second trip into the cave draws near. I'm excited to look around properly this time. Meanwhile, the residents here do not seem to know anything about the cave. Since it's waterlogged, it's no wonder no one went down there. That wasn't the assigned troop, at least. I offered some a chance to take a short peek with the help of a spell or two, but no one seemed interested. I have not gotten the chance to investigate the cave any further. Strange vegetations, sharp cut-off regions, ruststone, raptors. The group was only interested in getting out as fast as possible. I cannot blame them. The pressure in there is crushing, the air putrid, the monsters brutal. Perhaps I could try going down on my own, just to look around the entrance? Day. I kept alerting the raptors. This does not seem to work. Perhaps I was just too irritated from hunger. The rations I received were vegetarian. I'll try to ask about it the next time a group comes around. Day. Why are fish so damn slippery? Why are they like this? I hate fish! Findings and Theories 3 by Kneck. Day/night. I actually did it. They aren't immediately collapsing after the spell ends. Instead, they are going completely out of control, moving on their own and becoming aggressive. One even bit my hand. What a breakthrough. Night. I don't know what compelled me to do so, but I showed my little undead to the residents. Unexpectedly, they were very excited about them, some even calling them cute. How invigorating. Day. It has been a while. I've decided to keep my journals entirely away from Leomund. I doubt there's anything in there he'd want to see anyways. There were 3 more trips down the cave since my last report. There was nothing to report. The next one is in a few days. Rations are better, but barely filling now. I don't care what the group thinks. This time, we are going deeper, and if I have to lead them into a wrong path. What have I done?